All right, so today I'm gonna teach everybody how to do advanced day to night in After Effects and Premiere. And you're gonna take an image that looks like this and turn it into something that looks like this. I don't know where to start with this. So on one of my recent videos, I got asked by a few people, and when I say a few people, maybe like 2 people were really curious on how I did this day to night look. So before I start this tutorial, there's a few disclaimers I want to put out there. One, by creating this tutorial, I do not claim or act like I know everything about filmmaking. I still have a lot to learn, but I've had people interested in what I'm doing, so I'd like to hopefully help people learn, because I'm still learning myself. 2, I hate being in front of the camera. So that will be my second thing. I hate being in front of this camera. And 3, it's been about 3 months since I did this project, so bear with me. Everything might not turn out exactly the same as that final image that you saw, but we're gonna get the generalized concepts to get you as close as you can, so when you're doing your day to night shots, that you can achieve something similar to this, or even better, hopefully. So why would you wanna do day to night shots? Well, for example, I don't have, if you don't have the proper lighting or huge budget to shoot properly at nighttime with the right kind of lighting or look, day to night is nice because you have a little bit more control over your image quality, and instead of trying to crank up your ISO to be something ridiculously high to get that shot. 2, I knew that doing this cinema 4D rendering of the Stay Puft guy was going to be very difficult, and we needed a clear image to do this, and then it would be a lot easier to color grade afterwards to make it look like nighttime. So those are the 2 reasons why I did it. Now going to Premiere, these are the original clips. They are locked off. There's not much movement to them. What you want to look for when trying to make a good day to night shot is you want to make sure that there's no harsh shadows, because you got to think about it, at nighttime you're not going to have any shadows on your subject or your buildings or whatever you're shooting, because there is no sun. Yes, it'll be dark, but there's not going to be any shadows. Everything will be dark. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this first shot. This is how I created this one to make this. First, I have to do the color grade on this. So we're going to go over to the colors wheels, boom, like this. And what you're going to want to do is lower your midtones a lot. Doom, 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 drop them all the way down. Perfect. Okay. And then next, what we're going to do is we're going to drop our shadows a little bit. Now, see, you're already starting to get that night look. Then we're going to go over to basic. And since I shot this with the Ursa, we're going to have to drop this quite a bit. So it's starting to look more like nighttime, right? And then what I did next is I'm going to go back to my color wheels, and in my highlights I'm going to add a little bit of blue. That gives us the moon look. And then in my midtones I'm going to add a little bit of purple. Personally, I like adding this purple into it. I think it just gives a little bit more of a interesting look to it. Like that, boom. And what I want to do next is I'm going to take this lumetri color, copy it over, and boom, right here. Okay, see how dark that is? Okay, this is good. This is a good start, but I think that this is going to be too dark for once we transfer it over. Okay, perfect. So we got our 2 shots like this. This is what they're going to look like. So what I'm going to do now, let's come in here a little bit closer. All right, so say this is our final shot that we're going to do. So the way that I export it, because this is Blackmagic so far does not work, so I can't dynamic link it to After Effects. The raw footage of Blackmagic Raw does not work in After Effects, but I do have the plugin for it to work into Premiere. So what I'm going to do next is going to go to QuickTime, make sure it's on QuickTime, boom, And then I'm gonna go to Apple ProRes 4442. Boom, right like that. Then we're gonna render at maximum depth, use max render quality, 16-bit, and export. And to save ourselves some time, I've already exported both of these. So we're just gonna, exported both of these shots. So what we're gonna do is hop into After Effects here. Boom. So the next step is now that we're in After Effects, we're gonna have to make this shot look day to night. But the first problem is that you can see is that this shot is way too white in the sky right here. And especially because eventually I want it to match with this shot where it's a lot more purple. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the last shot right here and bring it into the second to last shot, this one. And we're gonna go Command V, boom, got it. We're gonna rename this. We're gonna Sky Replacement, replace, perfect. And then next thing what we're gonna wanna do is move this, adjust it. And if you wanna make this easier on yourself, you can go to press T, go to opacity, bring it down, and it looks like right there is actually perfect. Because as you can see, the spot that we wanna replace, I'm just gonna make this a little bit bigger to make my life a little bit easier. The spot that we wanna replace is this right here, right? And so there is none of this object of the other one in there. So that'll be perfect sky to grab. And we're gonna go to mask and we're gonna just, actually let's drop that back down real fast just to help ourselves. And we're gonna mask this out. Perfect, as best as we can. Boom. Right? Awesome. I think that's pretty good. And then we can bring the opacity back up. And then you're might say, Austin, that looks like crap. And yes, it does. So this is the next trick I'm gonna show you. Anytime you wanna replace a sky that is too blown out and you wanna replace it with something a little bit easier, you can use this even for not day to night, but I like to use this trick for the day to night and any of my blown out skies when your exposure is just way too bright and you're shooting on something that's a lot more shadowed. This is a very cool trick and you can actually use it with moving shots too, but I'm just gonna show you right now how you can do this with this still shot for day to night. So we're gonna turn this off, the sky replacement. We're gonna take the second to last shot and go Command D, Command D. Now you have 3 copies of it. With the top one, let's rename this. We're gonna name this top, middle, just to help you guys, and our main shot, right? So with the top, we're gonna put in Colorama, which I already did, bring it on, drag it on the top layer. Now, this is very beautiful, yes, no. What we're gonna do now is you're gonna go to Output Cycle and you're gonna go to Ramp Gray. Okay, so now that we have this in Ramp Gray, your objective is whatever you wanna replace, you wanna make it completely white and you wanna make everything else completely black so it makes it easier for the Luma matte to discern. And the easiest way to do that is you're gonna click on the bottom right here and make it black. Now that helps quite a bit, but this is still pretty light. So what I'm gonna do is take this top one and drag it around. You're just gonna have to finesse it with whatever you're working on. Just like that, that's pretty nice. Maybe drag this back a little bit so we can blend in our blacks right there as we have a little bit of line problems, but that's okay. Okay, so now that we have that done, what we're gonna do is click on the middle section and we're gonna go to Layer, Track Matte, Luma Inverted Matte. Perfect. And then now we're gonna do is take the sky replace, drag it in between the middle and that second to last one, or our main clip, and we're gonna turn it back on. And boom. And that's how you replace the sky without having to mask or deal with any of that. Yes, you can mask, but I just find this a lot easier and a little bit more accurate, and then you can even get that sliver in there. And when you're doing moving shots, this is actually really helpful as well. And the only other thing you have to do is track the motion, create a null object, and link that null object to your sky replacement. And that can change your shot right there for you. So boom, first step done. Now we're gonna make it to the second step. But first what I'm gonna do is pre-compose these, boom, 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 boom. Boom, move all attributes, easy peasy. So now we have this, right? And then we're gonna pre-compose this one more time. So this is all in one, all right? And then once we do that, So now we are here. What I did was actually, if I remember correctly, sorry, I'm jumping back a little bit. I exported this because I just wanted it all locked off. Then I brought it back in to right here. Okay, so now that we're here, this is it right here. Beautiful, right? Here's our shot. I'm gonna turn it on really fast. So what I did to create these windows is right here. Beautiful, right? This was a little bit of finessing if I remember correctly, but okay, we're gonna go through it. We're gonna turn this off. I'm gonna go Command D. So don't look at any of these for right now. What we're gonna do is go Command D on our main video. Gonna copy it, I think. Oh, there we go. And we can rename this nothing because this is the easiest way to do it for me. I know I'm not that organized, but hey, the process works for me. Everybody has their different way of doing it. So at nighttime, obviously you're gonna have lights on your windows. And the coolest and most efficient way that I figured out how to do this was what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the mask tool and we're literally going to trace all these out. Dun, 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 like this, easy. As you can see, you want to make sure that these all line up. All right, I'm just going to show you with these. So let's say we mask these out. Beautiful, right? We can turn this off now. Here's our windows. And I'm going to pop into this one really fast. Say these are our windows. The first thing I did was I changed the curves on them, and we're gonna take this, we're just gonna copy this over really fast. So, all right, here we are. Sorry, yeah, there's a puppy, they're crate training a puppy downstairs, so if you hear that puppy whining, that is not my dog, but they're crate training him. So, boom, easy peasy. So the first effect that you're gonna add is curves, and let's just get rid of this real fast. I just need to use that as a reference, like I said. It's been a while since I've done this, and I just have to kind of remind myself. So we're gonna add curves in here, right onto this effect. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna brighten it quite a bit because obviously the lights are gonna be a lot brighter than normal. Oops, that is not exactly what I wanted. Let's bring that in a little bit there. So we're gonna take the regular RGB curve and brighten it up. Now what we're gonna wanna do is create yellow. And the way to do that is we're gonna raise our reds, boom, like that. And then go to our green, raise our green just a smidge. And then our blue, we're gonna lower it. See how that's creating that yellow right there? As you can see now we have this yellow look on our windows. Easy peasy, right? Okay, the next thing of what I did is I used brightness and contrast. This is all finessing, so I'm just gonna be copying this over. As you can see, I did brightness 39. I just needed to pop it up a little bit. And we're gonna go back to our second to last, right here. And we're gonna add this in. Makes it a little bit brighter. Now, I put all the masks at 29 feather. So jumping back, masks. Obviously there's less masks here, but this will do the trick. So you can select them all like this, which is a nice little trick, and go 29, boom. Now they're all feathered at 29. Bam, hopefully it's recording again. Beautiful. All right, so the next thing that we're gonna do is we are going to add a glow to it. And again, this is all just finessing it until it looks like something that you like. Windows 2 is what we're gonna drop it on. So there's a glow, way too much, right? Looking at my old one is I had this at glow radius 2, and then put this down to 39. Boom. All right, what else did we do here? And then 0.1. This is at 1, so drop this down because it's way too strong, and there we go. Looks pretty decent in my mind, comparatively. All right, let's turn, now that I showed you guys how to do that. Perfect, right? Let's turn this one on just because I have this one set up. This is the difference between the two after I masked it out, right? And honestly, it's all just perspective on what you think looks good. I took a lot of time to finesse around with it to get this to look like this, but now you know all the tools that I used to get there. And as these went down, I actually kind of put the opacity on these masks less and less because the farther away the light, I didn't want it as strong. That was just something that made sense to me. All right, so the next step is I duplicated this layer again, right here, Command D, and what I did was I raised the shadows a little bit because this was way too dark. So as you can see, I masked it out, took a little mask, boom, 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 went to curves, and then raised this up, beautiful, and that's as simple as that is. So how did I create these bulbs? This is the next step. As you can see, here they are, beautiful, boom, like that. Here's another one, here's another one, here's another one. I think overall, the amount of bulbs that I created were 16 to 104. So it is close to 80 bulbs. I'm not great at math. That's why I'm a filmmaker. And because on a day-to-night look, obviously, you're going to want to have these lights on. The lights weren't on at sunrise or at 6 a.m. Obviously, they're not going to have those on, but we can create them, so not a problem. Okay, so first thing I did was let's turn all these off. I'm not going to do all of them because that is ridiculous. We're going to go to Layer, New, Solid. Boom. Then we're going to go to Lens Flare, drag it on. Perfect. Now I remember. So then 105 at 79%. Perfect. And then you're going to go up to Layer, Blending Mode, Classic Color Dodge. Boom. And then, let's see, what do we do next? T. Okay. T, 64%. Okay. Let's just leave this at 71 for right now. And okay, so now we're to this point, right? We did all this, but the problem is A, you can see it moving, you can see green in here. We don't want any of that. So let's line up our light, say this is one of our bulbs, right? We're just gonna take a mask, easy peasy, and go right over it like so. Beautiful. Simple. Now we're to this point. But again, that doesn't look very realistic, right? So we need to feather out the mask. And we want it around like 340, probably. Too far. So, because we want to light, maybe expand this mask just a smidge. Let's make it all right. So that's pretty good. And then we're going to want to add to the curves. I want to change the colors a little bit. And to do that, sorry, this keeps popping up there. To do that, I'm just going to copy over one of my curves from my other one. Beautiful. Command C. Command B. Let's see. Perfect. All right. So there is our first bulb. It's nice, simple. And all right, let's turn that one off. Now I'm going to show you, now that I showed you guys how to create the bulbs, let's turn on a few of these. Beautiful. Ding, ding, ding. What I had to do as I was doing these, what I do is I do Command D. That's why it took so long. There might be a better way to do this. And after I did Command D, it doubles up. And then I drag one of them and perfect. And as I went farther down the line, obviously I made them smaller, I made them less opacity. The next thing is we're gonna have our monster coming in, right? So I'm gonna just turn on these ones to save us a little bit of pain and struggle. I wanna speed up this process for everybody. Beautiful, beautiful. There's a lot. All right, so obviously they're not all on. Let's just turn them all on, save ourselves some time. I don't know why I'm doing it like that. All right, so turning on all the lights, boom. A lot of lights, took a lot of time. All right, so timing it up with where I'm gonna have it is I wanted to have it a little bit steady and similar to Jurassic Park in that suspension build. So you're gonna have this still shot like this, right? Not all the lights are on because I want it to be a little bit eerie, right? Sitting, dun, 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 dun. And then what I'm gonna do is I took some of these lights, different ones randomly, and split them by cutting them, right? And then putting a gap in between them, and that's what creates our blinking effect. So when the monster stomps, there's gonna be a surge of electricity. And how that works is, ready? Doesn't look like much yet, I know. But that's okay, we're gonna get to that next spot. Watch it one more time, boom, surge of electricity, right? All right, so the next thing I wanna show you is how I created these spotlights for these words right here to really sell the sign, because there's no lights on them, and we had to have a way for you to be able to see the words because your eyes are being drawn to these right here, right? Oh, sorry. And I don't know why I said sorry to my computer. And also I wanted to kind of show this because this right now is the only thing that has movement in the whole video besides these flickering lights. But if you look very closely, you can see that the wind is fluttering that, and I want to make sure that this doesn't look like an image. And there's quite a few ways we can do that, but this is just one to highlight that. So I just want to show you guys, for example, what all these spotlights look like. Turn them on, boom. Now it highlights all these letters, highlights this guy like there's a little spotlight underneath there shooting up at all these words and on this banner. Kind of just gives them a nice little pop and gives us that night look, right? I know they're not very realistic, but they do the job. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna do file, layer, I do this every single time, layer, new solid, right here, beautiful. Then we're gonna go to CC Spotlight, drag it on, perfect. We're gonna go to light only, perfect. And then we're gonna go to layer, blending mode, classic color dodge, awesome. So now you have a pretty clean look. Next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag these points to kind of hit these. We can start adjusting a little bit. Let's make this a little bit more yellow. Lights aren't that pure white. Just a little bit more. Bring it in the yellow a little bit more. Orange a little bit more. I kind of want to match with the other ones. Beautiful. All right. So let's softness. Let's bring that softness down quite a bit. I want it to blend. I don't want it to be too obvious. Cone height. Bring it in. All right. That's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. Gives us a little bit of, if we want to make it pop a little bit more, we can make it a little bit brighter. And then you're just going to do that for each letter and anything else you want to put a spotlight on. So we'll turn these back on. Beautiful. Turn that one off. Makes it easy. So again, it's just all about finessing. These are the settings that I chose for it right here. Okay, perfect. One last thing. Okay, so turning those off, now we have this. I wanted to have a little bit of a dust effect falling. So I'm subscribed to Motion Array. I'm not selling it anyway, but they do have a lot of cool templates you can use. One of them I typed in was green screen dust falling, like that, as you can see, right? And I wanted this falling from the cracks. So I got this green screen dust falling, and then I added a key light to it, boom, to blend it in, right? Boom. And then offset, corner pin, because I needed it to have the right angle. So right when I corner pinned it to move it all the way up here so it has the same kind of angle and look. It took a little bit of finessing. And then curves, I just wanted to blend it a little bit more because obviously it's too light, and if it's going through these lights, it needs to be a little bit more red and orange. And then the last thing I did was I added an opacity to it so it turned on and turned off. So other parts of it wasn't leaking and I wanted it to end. And I timed it up. So as you can see, it comes in right when the stop happens. Awesome, just like that, right? Okay, so after you're done with all this, what you're gonna do is you're gonna export this video and then you're gonna bring it back in and voila, we have this right here. The next thing we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna create a little bit of movement because this was a locked off shot. I know this doesn't really have day to night, but I figured I might as well teach you everything that I did so that you're not like, hey, well, why does that one move and this one doesn't? Well, this is what I did, is we're gonna put in an expression. So you can click on position, you're gonna hit Alt, and then you're gonna click on the stopwatch. right? The next thing we're gonna type in is wiggle. And as you can see, it starts to pop up, boom, like that. And I put 1,35, boom. So now, as you can see in your camera, it creates a little bit of movement, like it's handheld. It's not perfect, but that saves a lot of time for my guy that is creating that Stay Puft Marshmallow, that he doesn't have to track every single shot. If it's locked off, then that saves him a whole bunch of time and it'll make it more realistic. We're not professionals. Well, that was terrible. We are professionals, but we are professionals on a small scale, so there's only so much we can do to make things realistic. So now we have that. Beautiful, right? All right, pre-compose. Beautiful. Move all attributes. All right, so now we got that movement going, right? But now we need it on the stomp, which is right here, right? So to make the stomp, it's gonna be the same exact thing that we did before, but now we're gonna go to effects and we're gonna do slider control. We're gonna do it twice, boom, boom. This works. Okay, so you're gonna open everything up on here. You're gonna open your effects, you're gonna open your position, you're gonna hold Alt, you're gonna type wiggle, beautiful, add a comma in, go to the first one and you're gonna drag slider, beautiful. Now you have the slider control in the first one. Now we're gonna drag again and go to slider control 2, which needs to be opened. Sorry. All right, let's try this again. Then you're gonna open, you're gonna take the Tillywig, is that what it's called? Expression whip, pick whip. Not the Tillywig. You take the pick whip and go to slider 2, boom. Now you have this expression. And what this means is now you can control right here how much shake you're gonna get. All right, so right now we have no shake besides the natural camera movement, but we wanna have a good stomp right here. And if I remember, what I'm gonna do is go boom, boom. We're gonna hit the 2 clocks, gonna go into steps, and I think I did 10 and 20. All right, see how that looks. Boom. See how that makes that shake? So, boom. As it's making the step down, what we can do is we can tighten this up just a smidge so it's a little bit more aggressive, and then maybe 25. I don't remember exactly when messing around with this. Oh, there we go. And then let's let it fade out by putting 2 more keyframes in and turning it back off. So 0 and 0. And there you go. There you have it. And that's how we made our stomp and our day to night. And there you have it. Then I took this back into Premiere and I color graded and added to the rest of the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. This is my shit. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. That camera just went off. Man, I cuss a lot. I'm working on that. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm not used to being in front of the camera, but I've been asked by people to do these tutorials, so I wanted to do them and hopefully help you learn how to do pieces of this. A really great tool or site to use is Video Copilot. They explain so many different tutorials. The guy, Andrew Kramer, is a pure genius, and I've learned a lot from just doing his tutorials and doing other people's After Effects tutorials, because when I first started After Effects, I was just so confused and blown away. I'm like, how can I create these things? But after a while, by learning different tutorials, you can start taking pieces from that one and this one and kind of Frankensteining them together and creating your own things that work for your scenarios. And by learning, I don't know, I think there's about 20 different tutorials in here that I learned from different people and started blending them together and tweaking them so that they'd work together to create this final product for this company that I created this video for. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that it wasn't too painful. I'll try to clean it up so it doesn't look terrible. If you have any questions or you want me to do anything else, just look through some of my other videos and say, hey, how did you do this? And I can hopefully show you how to do that. And I'm gonna start trying to do more and more of these. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.